Spinning during battle is tactical suicide, or so we've all heard. I want to preface this by saying it is usually a bad idea to spin during battle. However, sometimes it is necessary, and sometimes it can actually be a good idea. However, it is always dangerous, and there are some strategies you can employ while spinning to improve your chances of survival. In this video, I want to talk about just a couple situations where spinning might actually increase your chances of survival and how to do so properly. We've all seen the big climatic battles in Hollywood movies where the main character is spinning a lot because it looks cool, and everyone rags on this because it's tactical suicide. I want to say that most of the time this is correct. 95% of the time, spinning in battle is a terrible idea. Not only are you leaving your back completely exposed, but you're also delaying your swing. If I swing at you in the front, it's going to land way faster than if I swing and have to go all the way around to hit you. Therefore, spinning is a bad idea. Now, the first situation where I might condone spinning in a battle is to check your surroundings. Take this fight, for example. We're fighting a bunch. I shove my opponent backward. He, being a competent swordsman, probably knows that there's a tree somewhere behind him. He doesn't know how close he's gotten to it during the fight, and so he takes this opportunity as he's stumbling backward to spin to survey his surroundings and make sure I'm not going to run him into the tree. That's situation number one, spinning to survey your surroundings. However, my opponent in this battle did not just spin heedlessly. He employed strategies to survive. The first thing he did was continue stumbling away from me after I shoved him. This ensured that I would not be pouncing on him while his back was turned. The second thing he did was spin very quickly while never taking his eyes off of me, his opponent. The third thing he did was put his shield on his back. This is something that some sword fighters do anytime they turn their back to their opponent, just as a Hail Mary of, if somebody happens to swing at me, my shield will be back there to block it. Of course, you can't always guarantee that you will block it, but I have seen it happen many times where someone is forced into a spin and they do throw their shield or an extra sword or whatever behind their back, and they happen to deflect an incoming blow. So it's always worth trying that out, especially after many years of practice where it becomes second nature just to throw a weapon behind your back as you turn in case someone's swinging at you, and in case it happens to be in the right place, may save your life. So that's situation number one, to survey your surroundings. And those are some of the strategies you want to employ. Make sure to spin away from your enemies, not toward them. Make sure to spin while never taking your eyes off your enemies for more time than is necessary. And third, always try and have a weapon either swinging behind you or blocking behind you as you turn in case it might save your life by blocking an incoming attack. The second situation I want to talk about where I would condone spinning is if you are surrounded. This may seem obvious, but if you're attacking one enemy from one direction and then you sense one coming up from behind you, and I say sense, it's not like you have a sixth sense, but you kind of do in battle. You pick up all the hearing, you see shadows, you hear different things, you see your opponent look over your shoulder, recognize someone coming up. So in battle, competent swordsmen often do know when someone's coming up behind them. Not always, obviously, but it is something that happens a lot. So this enemy's coming up from behind, I see that I'm surrounded, so I'm going to do a quick spin to try and get out of the situation. I want to emphasize I'm spinning to get out of the situation. I'm not spinning heedlessly between these two opponents. I would get crushed. There's no way I could deflect both of their shots well enough to survive and kill both of them or anything. So I'm spinning to defend myself and to retreat out of the surrounded situation. So that's the second situation where I would condone spinning to retreat out of a surrounded situation. Of course, if you are ultimately surrounded, you have people on every side of you, you do really just need to try and spin a ton to block everything and survive. That could look really cool. I also almost guarantee you'll die very quickly. If I was completely surrounded by like a dozen people and they're coming at me from all directions, I still probably wouldn't spin. I would just choose a single opponent and charge at them and try and break them and get out of the circle before anyone else can kill me. I have a better chance of surviving that than trying to spin. So that's what I would do then. I don't have any footage of that, I'm sorry. The third situation where I might condone spinning is not something I actually feel good about condoning, but it is something that I do sometimes during fighting, so I have to say it's not something that competent swordsmen will never do, even though it's probably still a bad idea. And this is to spin to intimidate your opponent. If you have multiple opponents coming at you, or even just one coming at you, and you are confident that you are better than them as a swordsman, but either you're outnumbered or something else is going on, where you want to break their momentum in their charge, or you want to just intimidate them, doing a cool spin might work. It might also get you killed. I do this because my life's never on the line while sword fighting. I sword fight mostly for fun. So I do spin sometimes more frequently than I should while battling because A, I feel cool, and B, I know my life's not on the line. And third, it may intimidate them, it may have them falter in their charge. Sometimes it works, most of the time it doesn't. But that's the third situation where I personally do spin, but again, not during competitions, tournaments, championships, or if my life was ever actually on the line. But it is something you might consider if you're writing a scene where a competent swordsman is doing a training duel with a less competent swordsman. That competent swordsman might show off a little by spinning. It is something that more competent swordsmen do sometimes, is they feel like they want to show off their moves, something like the Anakin move where he does his lightsaber behind his back. It's not really a realistically logical move to make, but it looks cool, and so if I want to show off or intimidate someone that I'm training or come off as a little arrogant as a character, then that's something I might consider doing. So there are a couple situations where I may condone spinning in battle. I do want to stress again, you really want to avoid spinning in all circumstances if you can, and if you do spin, try and employ some of those strategies I talked about. Spin away from your opponents, spot them, keep your eyes on them as much as you can, and try and either throw a sword behind you or a shield behind you to ward away someone attacking you from behind or to possibly block an incoming shot. Although that doesn't always work, it is worth getting used to doing that as you spin because it has saved my life before during a battle. I hope that was helpful. Have fun writing fight scenes in your books, and I will see you in my next video.